my name is Wildly Unaware and welcome back to my channel and to the next edition of Haunted Ireland. Today we will be talking about Loftus Hall. So I didn't know a lot about this place until I started researching for this video, and honestly I fell down a hole with it. It is so interesting. So anyway, I'm just going to jump straight into it and let's get a bit of backstory. Loftus Hall is a large country house on the Hook Peninsula, County Wexford, Ireland. However, it was not the first original building on the site. The first building was a castle built in 1170 by the Norman knight Raymond le Gros, who later changed his name to Raymond Redmond to adapt an Irish identity. The Redmond family replaced their original castle with another in about 1350 during the time of the Black Death. The second castle soon became known as Redmond Hall. The Redmond Hall remained in the Redmond family until the late 1650s, when an English invasion happened. The hall was then given to the Loftus family during the Cromwellian conquest. However, it did not become the Loftus family's principal residence until 1666, when Henry Loftus took up the residence. The building was heavily renovated in many years following the residency, particularly during the years from 1872 to 1879 by the 4th Marquess of Ely, presumably in preparation for a visit from Her Majesty Queen Victoria, whose Lady of the Bedchamber at the time was Lady Jane Loftus, specifically from 1851 to 1889. The renovations to Loftus Hall were largely inspired by Osborne House, the Queen's summer residence, where Lady Jane Loftus spent a lot of her time with Queen Victoria. Unfortunately though, the Queen's visit never happened, and this left the Loftus Hall with massive debts following the renovations. The 4th Marquess ended up dying very young and left the estate in a poor financial state to his cousin, who eventually elected to place it on the market. In 1917, Loftus Hall was bought by the Sisters of Providence and turned into a convent and a school for young girls interested in joining the order. In 1983, it was purchased by Michael Devereux, who then reopened it as Loftus Hall Hotel, which was subsequently closed again in the late 1990s. It was purchased again by another family in 2011 and since reopened as a popular tourist attraction, especially among paranormal investigators due to the hall's extensive history with the supernatural. So now that we've passed the history portion, let's get into the hauntings. The most well-known ghost story to come from Loftus Hall is a tale from very long ago, when it said that the devil actually visited the hall, and the story is known as the Legend of Loftus Hall. So the legend goes that around the year 1775, Lord Charles Tottenham was resting in his home with his second wife and daughter from his first marriage, and when a ship unexpectedly arrived at the Hook Peninsula. A dark stranger then shortly arrived at the hall on horseback and was ushered inside to seek shelter from the ongoing storm, and he ended up residing at the house for several weeks. During this time, Anne is said to have felt head over heels with the stranger and spent countless hours socialising with him in the hall's tapestry room. It is said that one night, Anne and the unnamed stranger were playing cards with the other guests in the house. Anne leant down under the table to collect a card she had dropped, and noticed the stranger had cloven hooves. She then screamed loudly, causing the stranger to expose himself as the devil. He transformed into a ball of fire and shot up through the roof, leaving behind a large hole in the ceiling. Anne apparently was left traumatized by this event and became extremely mentally ill, and her mental state deteriorated rapidly after the event. Her family, embarrassed and ashamed by her behaviour, confined her to a room in the house where they thought she would be happy, as it was her favourite room. It was the tapestry room. Anne soon refused food and drink, and sat constantly with her knees under her chin, looking out the tapestry room window across the sea, supposedly waiting for her mysterious stranger to return, until she eventually died in the tapestry room in 1775. It is said that when she died, they could not straighten her body as her muscles had seized, and she was buried in the same sitting position in which she had died. Supposedly, after the time Anne had died, Loftus Hall became plagued by severe poltergeist activity, Seemingly, the troubled Anne, never able to rest in peace. Anne Tottenham's grave is located in a local graveyard in Wexford, but something is very peculiar about it. Unlike the surrounding graves, it is completely cemented over. The people that buried her clearly wanted to ensure no one could ever access her body, leaving people to wonder what dark secrets did Anne take with her to the grave. This then raises the question as to whether Anne really was confined due to mental illness, or whether there was another reason for this tragic ending to her life. According to one alternative account, the stranger had fallen in love with Anne and had asked Charles Tottenham for her hand in marriage, but was refused permission. He was then turned away from the house, leaving Anne heartbroken. But there is another twist in this story. During the restoration of Loftus Hall, the skeletal remains of a tiny infant were found between the walls in what is believed to have been the room that Anne had been locked in. People wonder, did Anne fall pregnant with the mysterious stranger, casting shame upon her family? This could have provided a motive for her father to lock her away, never to be seen again. One local account suggests that Anne died during childbirth, after her father refused to let anyone know of her pregnancy, including the local doctor, and she suffered complications leading to her death. But does the ghost of Anne still roam the cold and empty rooms of the mansion as it stands today? Many are convinced the answer is yes. American ghost hunters carried out a detailed investigation of the house and claimed to have detected numerous anomalies. In 2014, Loftus Hall cemented its reputation as the most haunted house in Ireland when a visitor taking a tour believed that he captured a haunting image on his camera. It subsequently went viral, attracting the attention of people all around the world. The 21-year-old said that he was browsing through the photos of his camera when he noticed the ghostly figures of a young woman and an older woman in a window. And that is the curious, eerie story of Loftus Hall. And I would really love to visit this place at some point in time. Their website, the Loftus Hall website, is actually very informative, and they have an amazing feature where they live stream the rooms in the house 24/7 in their after dark section. And I would really highly recommend going and looking on their website at this, because it's super interesting. And if there's a way that you're going to see a ghost on camera, this is probably the way it's going to happen. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on Loftus Hall in the bottom. Do you think it's really haunted? You think Anne Tottenham's dad is a bit strange? Did he really not tell anyone that she was pregnant, causing her to die during childbirth, and then Anne to haunt the residents? Who knows? There's a lot more information on this particular building that I haven't added in because I didn't want it to be too long. So if you were interested in it, feel free to go and look it up. It has a really intriguing history and past. Anyhow, I just want to thank you so much for watching, especially if you have gotten this far in the video. I would really love to hit 100 subscribers for Halloween, so if you've enjoyed this video, please do subscribe and hit the like button on the video if you have enjoyed it. It would help me out a lot. Also, feel free to go ahead and watch some of my other videos I have up. They're good too. But that is all from me today, folks. Thank you once again. Stay safe out there, and goodbye.